Hi, it's Dave, and welcome back to my bass blog. Today I'm going to start with a very simple concept and spend the next few episodes expanding on it. Today's concept is the arpeggio. An arpeggio is an Italian term which means notes of a chord not played simultaneously, such as, but played sequentially, such as. Now, there are many different types of arpeggios and many real fun uses for them. In fact, one of the things when I listen to other bass players, I like to see if they're using the arpeggio as a melodic tool to make their bass lines more interesting. The simplest way to start with arpeggios would be to start with what I call triad arpeggios. That is the simplest chord, the three-note chord, learning to play arpeggios that are simple because they only have three notes. I'd like to start, first of all, with the major arpeggios. There are four types, of course, triads. There are major triad arpeggios, minor, diminished, and augmented. Start with the major triad arpeggios. We'll come up with some exercises for it, and then we'll be able to apply some of those same concepts to the other types of triads that are available. After we work on triads, we'll be able to move on to 4, 5, 6-note arpeggios. But that's a long way off. So we've got to start somewhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to start in the key of C, and we're going to play the C major arpeggio. I'd like to start in second position, second finger, A string, 3rd fret, C. To play the triad, we simply play the 1st, 3rd, and 5th notes from the C major scale. 1st, 3rd, and 5th. Here we go. The 1st C, 3rd E, and the 5th G. So let's play them together now, slowly at first, and then work up. 1, 2, let's play. Now we'll play the pattern 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, such as 3, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. As you can see, we're using fingers 2, 1, and 4. I like to use one finger per fret, even in this position. So the pattern is the same, regardless of where I started. If I started the pattern 1 fret up, it would still be the same pattern of 2, 1, and 4. No matter where I start the pattern, as long as I play it the same way, I'll get a major triad. But going back to C, we'll review again and go over the C major triad. 1, 2, let's play. Now, what I'd like you to get the idea of doing is a couple of things, actually. Is first of all, let's play that C major triad, but let's play that C major triad pretty much everywhere we can find it on the bass. That allows us to fit to that pattern. Nothing wrong with playing the pattern, but we kind of want to be more mindful of the notes. That's more musical, not so much patterns. Patterns are good learning tools, but when we get into musical situations where things are going by real fast, it sure is nice to know where those notes are. So let's get in the habit of playing the C major triad and saying the names of the notes kind of while we do it to kind of familiarize ourselves with not only the fingerboard, but the notes that are in the triad. So let's start simple, and I'll give you an example of how I want to do it. 1, 2, let's play. C, E, G, E, C. Starting C on the E string, C, E, G, E, C. The pattern is the same. We can move up to the A string. the D string. Those of you that have the 5th string can play first finger on your B string, the C here, and play the would be C, E, G. You can even play that note open there. So that's another one that, and if you have the 6th string, obviously you can play another one up top. I'm sticking to the 4th string, and you'll want to do most of your playing on those 4 strings anyway, so that's where we'll keep going. So we've mentioned the triad, we've named some of the notes in it, and we played it in a few different positions on our neck. Obviously, not all the songs we're going to be playing are going to be in the key of C, so we need to work on that triad arpeggio everywhere and in every key. So some common ways of doing that are, of course, to use the cycle of fifths. And so forth and so on. Or you can do it in half steps. Or really just about anything. You have minor thirds maybe. Lots of different ways to get around that arpeggio. Now the next thing I like to do is talk about playing a triad arpeggio exercise using not just the one triad, C, E, G, but how about the triads that are in the chords of that key. In the key of C, the 3 most important chords are the tonic, subdominant, dominant. So let's play the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord, tonic, subdominant, dominant. Let's play those triads together and return. So here we go. Key of C, those 3 triads will be C, F, and G. Same pattern. Let's say the notes. Here we go. C, E, G, F, A, C, G, B, D, C. Let's do it one more time. C, E, G, F, A, C, G, B, D, C. Okay, so now obviously we can take that concept now and move it to different keys as well. For example, we can move up 2 frets to D. The 3 chords are D, G, and A, so we can play D, F sharp, A, G, B, D, A, C sharp, E, D, F sharp, A. Key of D. We can move through any number of keys with that, and always saying the names of the notes while we do it. Very important. Yes, to know the pattern. I can play the pattern anywhere with my eyes closed, but can I say the names of the notes? Those of you that are more familiar with your fingerboard, that won't be as tough for you, but for those of you that are just really getting into the fingerboard, say the notes as you play the triads. Very, very helpful. Lastly, I'd like to play one other triad exercise, basically playing the first triad by itself, the C triad, from the lowest string on your available instrument to the highest string on your available instrument. Since I'm on the 4-string Fender bass, to play the C major triad, C, E, G, my lowest note is E, so I'm going to start on E. Good idea to be also able to name the triads in their other order, G, C, E, E, G, C, other than just C, E, G. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start playing that triad from the lowest string to the highest string with good shifts, good economy of motion, and let's see how far I can get before I maybe scruff up. So here we go. E, G, C, E, G, C, E, G, C, G, E, C, G, E, C, G, E. I went from the bottom pretty much up all the way to the top and was able to cover all those notes and play them in different positions. See you next time. We'll talk more about triads, ways to play them, and we'll move on to maybe some minor stuff and then talk about diminished and augmented in a couple of upcoming episodes.